All right, everybody. It is time for Man Cave. What's going on, AW? This is your favorite, most hated. No, I'm just joking. This is Fitz. I'm so glad to be here. Y'all know how we do. Every so often we come on here with Man Cave. So we want you to do us a favor, tag somebody, let them know that we are in here having a good conversation tonight. I'm going to let the other two here with me tonight, other two brothers, just introduce themselves, and we will get started. It is going to be a good one. So go right ahead, guys. I can't.
Well, good evening, everybody. I'm back. Can you hear me?
Go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'm back. My name is Michael L. Rice, and I'm here to start some trouble. Amen.
I am Tay Spears, and I'm here to make sure that there is no trouble and be the peacemaker in the group. So,
say what?
I look forward to having that role.
Oh, okay. Oh, this. Look at the Lord coming back. All right, Jesus coming back soon. All right. Well, we are ready. I see the fearless leader has logged on, so we are prepared for the hazing and the mistreatment and the biased responses coming from all of the great support that we get here for the men and AW. So we are excited about all the shade that we're going to receive today because it's been bright and sunny out here in Phoenix. So we're still waiting for what's his name? His Majesty. Is that his Highness? Whatever it is.
His Grace.
Majesty, his Grace. We are still waiting for him. So hopefully he'll get on here soon, but we are not gonna belabor Jesus.
That's churchy.
It is. We're not gonna prolong the time. So I saved all my petty for tonight, so I am ready.
Wow.
I'm ready.
I've never heard belabored. I'm not even gonna lie to you.
Pray for me. So listen. So here's the topic. And it seems to be like one of the hot topics, right? Mm-hmm. Here's the topic. We want to discuss privacy versus secrecy. What's the difference? When is it valid? When is it necessary? When does it apply? Should it ever apply? But let's discuss the differences between it and why there seems to be such a divide between the genders about privacy versus secrecy. And of course, listen, we can only speak for ourselves as the three men who are here on this live. We do not speak for all men. We want to give the disclaimer that our statements do not represent the entirety of mankind or God's creation. Our statements that may seem generalistic about all females does not mean that there are not some females that do not fall within the description that we give on tonight. So please do not text, comment, or respond with men do it too. Not all of us, not me. We know that. Right. So we want to give all those disclaimers now so we can save our comment section for the stuff that we usually hear every time we get on here. So let's talk about it. Privacy versus secrecy. Let's address it. Give me the difference between privacy and secrecy. Go ahead.
You want to go first, Mike, or you want me to go ahead and
you go first.
All right, so the difference between privacy and secrecy. Secrecy means that I am intentionally like trying to keep you away or trying to hide you specifically because I don't want people to know. Privacy is me just saying, I'm just a private person. Like, and for me specifically, I know we're talking mostly social media because I feel like relationships have to follow like the social media guidelines now, since social media is so big, which I don't agree with. But I think that when it comes to things like social media, most, and don't kill me when I say this, most women are very adamant about you following those social media guidelines, as to where me specifically, like you said, we're speaking for ourselves. I'm private on social media in general. And so if I'm private on social media in general, I probably wouldn't follow those same guidelines that you would want me to follow as far as trying to parade you around just for social media to see. And that's the difference between, I believe, hiding or secrecy and privacy. I'm not trying to keep you a secret, but I also don't want everybody in my business.
So before you go, Mike, I want to reiterate, we want to give a disclaimer that when we say most or all women, we are not referring to every woman ever created by God on this God's green earth. So before you get in there and say, not me, wasn't me, shouldn't be me, don't say we're all alike. We know that. Go ahead, Mike. I'm gonna give that disclaimer like every 15 minutes.
But time out before you even go in, Mike. But if you have to say that, then most likely it probably is you.
See, I was
but so go ahead, Mike. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna start the trouble tonight. I was gonna start the trouble. That's cool.
I'm sorry.
I actually echo the same sentiments as Tay. For me, I am a very private person. And because I am private, I choose to keep my relationship private out of protection. I have not always been a private person, but I opt into privacy now because I seek to protect the one whom I'm invested in. So, privacy for me is all about protection. Those who need to know. Those who don't need to know will find out at the appointed time. Amen.
At the appointed time.
When it comes to secrecy, though, secrecy is it comes with its own motives, it comes with its own intentions, it comes with this idea of keeping you hidden or keeping this hidden from you or what have you. And so hidden from exposure, and we say it that way. So for me, privacy is extremely important. I am not secret, but I do move with intentionality. So, amen.
Amen. Your Grace, good to see you, sir.
Bless you.
Oh,
Appreciate
Dr.
your
Grace. I'm sorry.
Appreciate your majesty. Go ahead, give us your take on it. Privacy, secrecy, the difference.
Well, the difference, and I think Michael was just touching on it. The difference is the motive. A secret is something. A secret is something that I'm purposely trying to hide. Privacy is something that I do when I value something. Because I value this, I'm going to protect it. Look at the fools that win the lotto. I won the lotto. And then everybody come out the woodworks. Hey, let me hold something. Same with the relationship. It's you should really be nervous if I'm showboating you around, because it's like a notch in my belt almost. And that's not to say that I don't consider you valuable, or I don't still consider you something to be proud of. It's just I'm just way more protective of something that, watch this, I'm not willing to lose. I'm protective because I don't want this lost, or I don't want this stolen. I don't want this tainted. So the difference for me between secrecy and privacy is the motive.
So for me, I think the difference between secrecy and privacy is this. Secrecy is for self-preservation, and it's to preserve your perception of me, so therefore I keep it a secret. Privacy is for mutual protection. I am private when I want to protect what I care about, not just me, but you. So there are some things that I keep private for the protection of the whole. Matter of fact, I have guns in my house. My guns are in a safe because I want them put away from plain sight, right? It's not a secret that's keeping it private. That when I have most valuables, if it's a valuable piece of jewelry, I put it away to where it's not in plain sight. So that way everybody can't, one, see it or get a hold of it. Right? My address to my house is private because I don't want everybody knowing where I'm at and watching me coming in and coming out. It is to preserve my peace, right? And preserve my protection, not just me, but my wife's as well, whoever I'm connected to as well. And I think people don't understand the necessity of privacy, and they misinterpret it as secrecy because they just don't like it for themselves. Right?
So the question I have is, and this is for the women, what do you really get out of it? Like, what does me posting you every other day, what does it do for this relationship? Like, what's the motive behind you wanting to be seen?
Okay,
Because
so go ahead. So let's to put it in the form of a question, right? When is it being private about a relationship versus being secretive about a relationship? Give the examples. Go ahead.
So the question is, when is it being secretive, or when is it being private?
Yeah.
It is being secretive when I'm still entertaining other folks, and that's why I can't post you, because I don't want to throw salt in my own game and cancel the potential that I have elsewhere. It's privacy when I'm very selective about where I put you.
Right.
The secret.
So I have a question. So how do women tell the difference in that though? Because how do they know like your privacy is not because, or your privacy isn't secrecy? Like how do they tell the difference?
I might have an answer for that. I think that comes through conversation and understanding, right? And acceptance, right? If I'm a private person, if you expect me to post you every day, I'm sorry, you're going to be disappointed. I am private about said things. So I think that has to be established up front through conversation and understanding. Not just conversation, but let us both understand. Let me understand from you why you feel the need for me to post you or tag you every day or several times a week, and then let you understand from me why I don't operate in that way.
Can I add to that too? Oh, you can go ahead. My fault.
I just want, because there's something in the comments that says, well, if you post about everything else, why not post with boo? That is an assumption that I'm posting about what's happening in my life right now. I'm the kind of person, I'm not if you see my location is Rome, I'm already back at home. Just because I'm posting it does not necessarily mean that it applies to me. There are things that I post because I'm a content creator, I'm a creative and all that stuff. I'm an actor that I have to post just to keep myself out there for the purposes of content. So just because I'm posting a certain thing or talking about a certain thing does not mean that that's actually a reflection of my life. It can be an exaggeration, but not the full truth. So I just wanted to say that.
I want to add to what Mike said as well. I think that along with what you said, because I agree with what you said, but my privacy doesn't mean that I'm private with you.
Right.
And so I'm very open with you, and I can show you what my motives is, even outside of, social media. I can show you my response to people on social media. I can show you all these things. And so just because I'm private with the people that I barely know doesn't mean that I'm private with you and the people that I love. It's just like any good news. Like when I receive good news, a select few people hear it. I don't just go out and tell the whole world because I don't have a personal relationship with the whole world. Now, my thing is when it comes to being so open with your relationship, my question for women is, does that apply to the bad things as well? Because if you want me to parade around and say everything that's great that's happening in our relationship, can I also post when you get on my nerves?
No, don't be putting my business out in the streets like that.
Exactly. And so in a sense, you still want to be private, but you want us to have a certain persona in front of people. And so you want me to be public about what we show our good times, but not so public when it comes to when we're not having good times.
Eat them up.
So listen, here is the thing. And I think somebody asked, said, well, I post about my wife all the time. I said, but we're past the privacy phase, right? We are strong enough. What I had to learn, because I had been married before and more than once, when we got together, we purposely did not post each other at all. Matter of fact, when we were just friends and not really dating, there was no post about her at all. Matter of fact, once we started dating, we didn't even post. Matter of fact, somebody else posted a picture of us first, and then all hell broke loose, and we were both getting text messages. Don't date him. Don't date her. Girl, I knew about this. So, You know, I tell people often that you really don't know the backstory about what goes on. And the reason why we did that is because we were so active in our communities in different spheres that we knew somebody was going to have something to say. And so sometimes you keep things private. It's almost like a premature baby in an incubator. You keep it in the incubator until it can handle the environment it's about to be exposed to. The problem is people want exposure so bad, but the baby ain't grown up strong enough to handle the environment. And then when it breaks up, you got to delete every picture. You got to make up some narrative about how he was no good. You got to make up some narrative about how you should have listened to God. You got to make up some narrative about how you should have checked first. No, you were too excited and you posted when you should have waited. We gave ourselves time to make sure this thing was going to stick before we had to embarrass ourselves and backtrack, right? So it was 3 or 4 months before we posted. Shoot, 2 months later we was engaged. A month later we were married. So it's sometimes people just don't understand the value in taking time to build behind closed doors without exposing yourself too soon.
Yeah. And to that, the question is always why? Why do you want the world to know? Why do you want? And 9 times out of 10, it's, hey, look what I got. Look what I got. I get to qualify for the Real Housewives of whatever club too. And it's just like, you're really not concerned or invested in this real relationship. You just want the aesthetics. And what I will say is, I'm private like that because exactly what you just said. They don't want you until they see somebody else got you. And the moment they see that somebody else got you,
then I'm gonna have to go kill them for talking to my girl.
They want you. Now, oh, we used to talk, and oh, I can't believe you know he was in my DMs, and all that stuff, all of that comes, and it's really to divide you all so that they can get another shot, because now that somebody else has me, you feel like you missed that.
And within 2 days of a picture coming out, an ex called her talking crazy. Wasn't even dealing with each other. How she even get her number? But it happens. But see, when you have an experience that you don't know what's at risk. But when you've been through, you're like, oh no, not for me. Now, somebody says, what happens when one person is private and one person is not? We didn't announce it until we both agreed. You better not say nothing. And matter of fact, don't imply it either, because you're trying to force me to expose something that I'm not ready for yet. And my wife had to help me, because I used to be the poster on everything, and she was like, you ain't got to do all that. I don't want people in my business because they're gonna want what I got. So I waited till she was cool. It's gotta be agreement. Go ahead.
What's tough about like that eagerness to post, it makes you feel like, yo, do you want me, or do you just want what everybody else has? And you're trying to show like what the doctor was saying. I'm part of this club too. Oh, look, I'm goals. We're goals. Look at this. We're taking trips. We're doing this. And it's like, well, is it me that you want, or do you want what relationship goals look like for people to see, like for Instagram and things like that? And so I think a lot of us, I'm not even gonna just say just women, because I know some guys that's like this as well. They're just so eager to be in something that when they get something, they just want to just bam, look at this. They giving relationship advice and everything, and then next thing you know, bam. What happened? What happened? Y'all was so good. Goes. And so I think, like, man, do you really want a relationship, or do you want just something for everybody to see?
You know, I think we have to address this. For women, relationships are an accomplishment. For men, it's a responsibility.
Yes.
So status tough for women, that's it is, but it's the reality for them. That's why every time a girl posts she's with a dude, they be on there talking about congratulations, sis. When do you ever see a man post a girl? He be like, congratulations, bro. We didn't get married. We just dating.
Yeah.
Congratulations, sis. I'm so happy for you, sis. You're not married, but it's an accomplishment for them. Whereas the guys, we think about the responsibility and what's going to come with that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I want to address, if y'all don't mind, so there was a question that asks, why is the assumption that we want to post for other people?
Who we posting for? We can get a photo album.
That's the truth.
Yeah. Who are we posting for then?
That's the truth.
That's all social media is about.
And then you monitoring the likes. It's not like you're looking to see who liked it and
Yeah.
who did this. And it's definitely for other people. Why are we posting on the internet anyway? We can get a photo album and post our pictures.
Yeah, we can take pictures and send them to each other.
Who is it for? Who said that? I want to know who is it for.
It's in the comments.
Not to single nobody out. I'm sorry.
It's in the comments. I'll answer this way. Yeah, I have a scenario where, and this picture has never made the internet, and it never will because it means something to me.
Getting choked up.
Valentine's Day, I need some water. We went up on a Valentine's Day, and we did the old school photo booth. Right? You go in there, you sit down, they count down, you smile, they take 3 pictures. Right? Yeah. Those 3 pictures that we did in our old school photo booth will mean more to me in the lifetime of our relationship than any picture you post on the internet ever. Why? Because for me, that's a moment, right? And I feel like sometimes women, because we're here, I feel like sometimes women have to have that it's finally happening for me moment post. And that is the affirmation they need to know it's real. When it could be a facade. I know it's real.
Gotcha.
It could be a facade.
And with that, it's the same thing with trips and vacations. You can't get off the plane good before it's look where we at, and it's like
I hate that.
Can we get a moment to actually enjoy this place? Can we get a moment to actually enjoy each other before we get all this other influence? So this is why I'm private, and it's just not with relationships. It's with things that I hold dear to me. When I wrote my very first book, I was very afraid. I was nervous because I had never done anything like that before. There was only 2 people that knew I was writing a book.
You were smart.
I didn't because had I made an announcement early with everybody, I would have caught unnecessary warfare in that, oh, you ain't never wrote a book before. What made you think you're going to write a book? You trying to do this and you trying to do. And same goes with relationships. The moment people see you happy, their fangs come out. And it's, how can I destroy them? And you know, that girlfriend, that best friend of yours that really ain't your best friend, she really jealous of you. It's, oh, how can I sabotage this because you got this before me? So it's just a whole lot of unnecessary stuff that happens. So it's not that we're hiding it. It's just give us time to enjoy it. Give us time to really know that this is something that we're really going to be committed to and do before you blast it to the world. And now I not only have you as a responsibility, I have your friends and your Facebook followers as a responsibility too, putting all this pressure on me. Oh, girl, what do you do? Where you take?
Oh, because they're watching.
Oh, they watching. Oh, every little thing. They watch. And especially when Instagram showed what you were liking. Oh, child,
listen here.
Been there, done it. It was the reason my whole Just Josh 17 Instagram went away. And if you know about Just Josh 17, I had this girlfriend and she was just not having it with that Instagram. And where are we today?
So here's this comment. I think if the man was public, was the public one, of the woman was the private, decision would be public, even if she didn't want to. You with the wrong man.
Yeah, you with control.
With the wrong man. Because if love is about sacrifice and love is about considering or putting somebody else before yourself, no one should make the other feel uncomfortable in doing that, in my opinion. Yeah. I think it's way too easy just to not be with somebody who doesn't feel like the way you feel. If you want to be public, I want to be private, break up.
Yeah. And to this, because again, we're not speaking for everybody, because there are a few of you who actually just post because you just enjoy posting. You don't care about likes and whatever. So we're not concerned. We're not talking about you. The mass majority, though, is you're going to post this and you're looking at your insights. I feel it in the spirit. You're looking at your insights to see what time are your people on the most. And you scheduling that thing so that people can see that you're happy. it's not enough that you're truly happy. You want people
Mhm.
to see that you're happy so that they can clap for you, so that they can celebrate you, because it serves as some kind of validation. It's a hard pill to swallow, but that's what it is.
And
So
you
some
know what though? What happens
go ahead.
is when that happens, your spouse is the one that's getting neglected
Yep.
Man,
because you're too busy looking to see what do they think, or are they excited for me, or who like this, and the whole time the spouse is here like, okay, are we finna enjoy this beach, or are we finna keep checking our phone for likes? Are we gonna enjoy this moment or enjoy this concert, or are we gonna have our phone up on Facebook Live the whole time taping the concert? They didn't buy a ticket.
They didn't buy a
Okay,
ticket.
I
man.
bought so yeah, it's like we can't even enjoy ourselves because yeah, you too concerned about what everybody else is thinking and how everybody else is looking.
So what's the fine line between private and shame?
If I'm shamed, you're not gonna be with me.
Yeah, we're not going to be together.
We not even, yeah. Shamed is shame. There's no reason. Yeah, you block.
Like I'm
almost
ashamed
if
to
you're
be with you. Is that what's being asked?
what? Yeah.
No, here's how I feel about it. If I'm ashamed, if I'm not posting you because I'm ashamed of you, because maybe I looked at you one day and I saw a little cuteness, and now I'm looking at you and I see a lot of ugly, which
Yeah.
is not gonna happen. Like, because you know, sometimes, especially in the morning, sometimes our mind ain't all the way together. You know, and there has to be some kind of release, praise God, and then we get our true vision back. And if I don't feel the same way, there's not going to be anything to post, because here I see it. I measure it the same way I measure my relationship with God. There's no shame in Him. There's no need for me, no matter what is done. If I love you, there's no room for shame.
Mhm.
There's absolutely no room for shame. So if there is shame in our relationship, there's an absence of love.
Right.
And why do we want to post that?
Yeah.
So let me ask a question, man. Like sometimes, so even some of the questions that we see, do we not post because we are ashamed? Who gonna be with you if they're ashamed?
Yeah.
Like who's gonna be real? Who gonna be with you? I mean, who gonna be with you if they're ashamed? And now, if nobody knows about you at all, that's a concern. But if people know about you in private and it's just not publicly, did we forget there was life before social media? Like we forget this stuff. There are some people who don't get on social media at all. So like I think we have to be really careful about letting social media qualify the validity of our relationship.
Yeah.
Right. Because if my friends know about you, right, you're not a secret.
Yeah, facts.
If some people know about you, you're not a secret. Right. So is it really about being a secret, or is it really about you just not being seen by everybody? And if that's the case, then we need to get to the root of why is that necessary?
And most people suffer from attention deficit disorder. They really do. They really do. You just want attention. You just want the things that come with attention, good, bad, or indifferent. But like you said, if the people that actually mean something to me know who you are, I bring you around them. You're not a secret, baby. You are not a secret. And to the point earlier that I made, it's a different. You know when somebody's playing on you. You know when somebody's playing on you, and it's like, oh no, I can't post you on Facebook because that's where all my I almost said it. That's where all my other women at. It's a difference. I'll post you on Snapchat because that story gonna disappear in 24 hours. That's a difference. And the question still comes back to, what is it?
So here's a really good question. Here's a really good question though. How does being private look outside of social media? What does that look like? I'll give you an example. Me and my wife, we were dating. There was no holding hands walking in the church. I'm a pastor. There was no holding hands walking in the church. I wasn't rubbing her behind when I'm walking in the church. She wasn't standing there waiting for me by the door when I was walking in the church. She'd go right to the car and wait for me to get into the car, because we weren't public with our relationship. People wondered, but nobody knew yet. They didn't know until we were engaged. Right now, at that point, yes. You know what I'm saying? Holding hands, walking to the door, whatever. Nobody knew she was going back to my house for Sunday dinner. Nobody knew she was cooking for me, right? That's the stuff that we did together on purpose, right? But nobody knew that because that ain't their business.
Right.
Right. So you can still be private outside of social media and people can know you're together, but you don't have to have the discussion, because for what? This is my relationship, not everybody else's. Now, I think that it's important to communicate with the person that you're with and decide what level of exposure do you really want.
Right.
I met her family. She met mine. I waited a certain amount of time for her to meet my kids, but that was on purpose. And I think conversation is necessary.
Absolutely. I think for me, it's and I definitely agree with you. But for me, it's a little different. If you happen to catch something, then that you just happen to catch something. It's not, I'm just not going to go and just present something to everybody. But if we're out and, you know what I'm saying, people see us out or something like that, that's cool. That's not something I presented to them. That's not something that I was just like, yo, let's go out so they can see us. It's us having a good time. And I can't hold myself like Pastor did. I'm probably going to slap a cheek or something. And so like my privacy, you know what I'm saying, level is just what am I giving people outside of what they just see by chance. If they see something by chance, or they're just in an area that we're in and we're enjoying each other, then hey, I don't care about that. But I'm not just going to be here. Let's sit under this lighting at the restaurant so we can get a good picture and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's just a little different for me.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
For me, it's very easy to tell when I've entered into a relationship, because I disappear. I absolutely disappear, because that's where my attention is. And you know, Rebecca asked the question. She said, "So with guys, it's about your close friends knowing." Well, my true answer to that is, it's about the people that I care about. If I don't care about you, why would I rush to hand you information for you to have commentary on, to become an unnecessary burden on me, when your opinion, whether you agree or don't, really doesn't matter to me. It holds no weight to me. So I share it with the people that I hold close, because I value their perspective. I value their opinions. I value them knowing. It does not matter to me to post. It does nothing for me to post you to please or appease people that I don't know. So my ex-girlfriend and I, we were forced into coming out with our relationship, because I knew her brother, and her brother invited me to his anniversary party, and it was just that kind of thing. We had to, like, hey, you know, we talking, right? Because we were going to be in the same place. You know, we had been talking for like 7 months, like dating in a relationship for 7 months. And that was the first, we were both, because of who she is, we were both very comfortable, like keeping it under wraps, because you're in the public eye, I'm in the public eye. Everybody got something to say about us. Anyway, I like to keep people guessing. You don't know nothing about me unless I verbatim say it. It's just your hypothesis.
So there's a question here that says, what's the fear in people knowing your business?
I have an answer. There is no fear. I don't fear anybody knowing my business. I allow people to know what I want them to know. There's no fear. Like Tay said, if you see me out and we're enjoying each other's company, I'm not afraid of you seeing me out enjoying the company of the lady that I'm with, right? There's no fear in that. If there was fear in that, we wouldn't be out, period. So there's no fear at all. I'm going to be honest, I like to control the narrative.
Yep.
Yes, sir.
Right? I like to control the narrative. So, because I know, here's the thing, I know that whoever sees us, me entertaining you, is going to go and take that and tell it a whole different way. So if I can control the narrative, right, when it finally gets back to you that such and such saw us out doing such and such, and they've added their own seasoning to the story, I can come back to you and say, okay, this is not what it was at all.
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's not about fear. It's all about protection.
So I think that men in general take a cautionary approach to exposure, right? Because we would rather protect from the possibility of problems, whereas the other counterpart sometimes just feels, oh, we'll just deal with it. But they don't often grasp the potential for how bad it can get, right? Me being a person that's had a public divorce more than once, I know how bad it can get. I know how people are. I know how church people are. So I've learned to, as you say, create the world I want them to see. You're not getting access and potentially rain on my parade. I'm having the best relationship of my life, but you want to rain on my parade because of your opinion. I'm not putting it out there for you to jack that up for me, right? So when I come out and I'm already married, I'm letting you know this is what's been done. Your opinion doesn't matter, right? So let's shift this just a little bit. What about privacy in conversations and friendships? What do you do when you're having conversations with people and you either decline to give the details of those conversations? Prime example, I'm a pastor. Most things I tell my wife, right? Because my wife has proven she can handle it. She's proven to be a safe space. But I always say the moment she breaks that, or she frustrates me in her response, or makes it difficult for me to do my job, I won't tell her nothing. But as long as she maintains that confidentiality, maintains a healthy approach and response, I have no problem being open and telling her everything. I say that trust is contingent upon how you handle my transparency. So what do y'all think about that?
I absolutely agree. And there, the scripture, you don't cast your pearls to the swine. It is. There has to be a level of safety, a level of trust for me to talk to you. Because, my ex-girlfriend went through the group chat and got her feelings hurt because her thing was, I'm your girlfriend, so I'm supposed to be your best friend, wherever that came from. I'm supposed to be your best friend, so you're supposed to come talk to me. Well, I can't come tell you you're getting on my nerves and you're talking too much, because now it's going to be an issue. It's going to be an issue. So there are things, and that's why relationships are platonic and romantic are about trust. I know that I can say that to my friends, and they're not going to, one, hold it over my head. They're not going to, two, look at you any different. They're just going to allow me to vent. Right. And in spaces where, even in cooking conditions where there is no ventilation, you're going to get some fire somewhere. Things are going to burn up and get out of control. And it's just, you're not going to be able to tame it. And I think the level of privacy in conversation is knowing who can I run to, knowing who I can talk to and what they can handle. It would be absolutely dumb of me to try to pour a whole box of Cinnamon Toast Crunch in a Cool Whip bowl. It's not going to work because it's not made for that. Same with people. You have to know the capacities of people before you start talking to them, whether you sleeping with them and married to them or not. You still have to check in with their capacities.
So somebody asked this question that if her response or how she handles what you tell her is off one time, then that's it in terms of you sharing. I'm not going to say that's it, but it does diminish. I diminish the details. I'm still going to tell her who I talked to. I'm still going to say the general idea of what the conversation was about, but I'm not telling details. If you got loose lips and you tell what I told you, I'm not telling you again. Because my job as a pastor is to have a certain level of confidentiality. Now, she's trustworthy. She's never done that. But if you mishandle that access, oh, it's definitely getting diminished. That's like if you break a rule at work, they take back some of your access. Like, oh, we can't give you access to that because you've already broken the policy, right? And still being honest is not lying. And I will say, and listen, rather than lie about it, let me tell you what I'm going to say. And you can be pissed if you want. I'm just going to say, I can't talk to you about that. Or I'm not going to tell you. And if you say why, we tried this before, it did not work. Now, that does not mean that later on, there's not an opportunity for that trust to be earned back. But that's going to be done successively and at my pace, not hers.
Right.
Because you were the one that committed the offense.
Right.
And while we're talking about privacy, we have to address this lying spirit, because there's this thing of you're private because you're lying. There's a lie somewhere. Listen, this is my philosophy online. You can adopt it if you want. You can throw it away if you want. You only lie to people that you're afraid of. Wherever there's a lie, there's a fear. There's a fear of an outcome. There's a fear of a consequence. So I don't need to lie to people that I don't know, because one, I don't know you. Your opinion holds no weight to me. So that whole you don't post me because you out here lying. No. I don't post you because what I know from experience is that you get more than 3 people telling you I've been in their DMs. It could have been 10 years ago. Just by those 3 people come telling you, oh yeah, he was in my DMs. Now you have this seed planted in your head that I'm out here sliding in DMs when I ain't slid nowhere. And it starts impacting how you view me. And like you said with the baby in the incubator, with babies in general, you don't just take your baby outside after you have them, because there are things from the air, from everybody. Their immune system has not been built up that strong yet, and the slightest thing they can catch just from exposure. So there is danger in exposing something too quick. There's danger if I'm baking a cake and I pull that joke out just from 5 minutes there is danger in that. It's not even done.
I want to address a comment because I feel like it'll be a good talking point. And it's specifically to something you said, Fitz. It says, they say, y'all be short with grace. Men are short with grace. And I don't necessarily agree with that. I think what often women can't handle is our pace of building that trust back, right? So if I violate trust with you, I have to work like a dog to get some level of trust back. But when you violate me, you want it to be okay immediately. And here's the thing, I respect your process, but you don't respect mine.
Yep.
Which is another violation of trust for me.
Yep. And with that, we have to address the double standard that is in women, whether you blow up the comments or not. There is a huge double standard with women, that you can't do it to me, but I can do it to you. And because it's me doing it, I'm justified. That is across the board. And that's going to be a generalized statement, because it's this thing of, well, when I hurt you, I want you to pay attention to my intention. When you hurt me, I just want you to care about how I'm feeling.
Right.
So that question is still rooted in double standard.
Not only that too. Yeah. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Finish. Go ahead. Finish what you're saying.
I was just saying it's rooted in a double standard.
I think also too, that's like a misuse of grace. Like, grace is not void of consequence.
Right.
Completely.
That is a fact. That is a fact.
So like, it could have been worse. Like, I could have got up and left. But grace is me saying, okay, I can't go right here with you right now. And I'm still here. But just there's certain areas that we're not ready for yet.
And truth is, you've been riding grace. Sorry, truth is, you've been riding grace before I even got to this breaking point.
Listen here.
That's number one.
Yep. Yeah. But and so yeah, I just think that I think it's a misuse of grace. Like and that only works with women. I just want to put that out there. And I'm not saying all of you, majority. But that only works with women because, like he was saying, if we make a mistake, grace is probably the last thing on your mind and us making it up.
Mm-hmm.
And
go ahead. I'm sorry.
And I think that we have to address, I think it's being taken to the extreme. We said you lose a certain level of access. We didn't say you lose all access.
Right.
So if you can't handle a certain level of detail, I'm going to pull back on the details. I'm going to still tell you something. I'm not telling you everything. And I'm not talking about being secretive. I'm talking about being wise in what you can handle. I used this example earlier today. My children, I'm not letting them watch kissing scenes on the TV, right? So at a certain age, I say, cover your eyes. You're not mature enough for that yet. It's the same way when it comes to the level of information I give you. If you can't handle it, cover your eyes because you're not mature enough to handle that yet. And that's proven based upon your behavior and maturity.
Yeah. I want to address Rebecca's. She said, if we mishandle a moment, now we have to work hard for you to trust us again. You trusted us for months, and now she said you trusted us for months, and now I'm untrustworthy. How? Here's what I want to show you. This paper has been straight.
No, here's the thing, though. Like,
this piece of paper has been straight for a long time. I balled it up. It's gonna take some work to get that paper back straight. I don't care how much I flatten it out like this. It's still not straight like it was. It's gonna take some work. It's gonna take some effort. It's gonna take some intricate detail, and it's gonna take a lot of time to get that paper back straight like it originally was. That's just reality.
Mm-hmm.
And also, too, go ahead, Tim.
You're asking men not to have wisdom.
Yeah.
And so it's like, okay, let's use it in like a different way. Like, let's say I put you over the finances, right? And you just blow it to the point where certain bills were not able to be paid. By you guys' definition of grace, it's okay, try again. Without any instructions, without any, you know what I'm saying, monitoring, just try again because this is just one mistake. That's not wisdom. I just seen that there's an error in the way that you handle finances, and until we fix that error, I'm going to be handling the finances from here on out. And so that's just wisdom. Now it should be even more so when it comes to our peace, the things that we hold dear. Like if we tell you something and you misuse what we told you, and it goes to somebody else, I feel like that's more important than money. And so it's only wisdom for not only for me to have some restraint in that area as far as sharing with you, but it's my peace is on the line. If I tell you this now, I'm thinking like, dang, what if she do the same thing? And so also got to heal from what you just put me through. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, we have to use wisdom still. We don't dictate that when you guys use wisdom in areas. And so it's like, allow us to use wisdom.
So there's a comment here. There's some deception there, though, to say you've been riding grace for long before I got to this point. If you never told the person of their offense, it's like what folks do when they break up. All of a sudden, they list these problems they never knew about. Is that fair? I think that's left up to the person that's showing the grace. God let David do some mess a long time before he sent a prophet to say something.
Absolutely.
I don't know if that was unfair of God or David was just oblivious. I think it's one thing when there are things you are absolutely oblivious to. It's another thing when there are things you do that you know you shouldn't do, but you just think we're not going to say nothing about. Right? Some people know they're extra. Some people know they're offensive and oppressive, and yet they do it anyway, riding grace. and they see how far they can take it before somebody pops. I think it's very important to identify that there is a definite difference between the two. It's one thing when you don't know no better, just like when we do our kids. When our kids don't know any better, we usually don't beat them for that, right? This is the first time you've done that, cool. But when you keep doing it, and you know you're doing it, and we've implied that you probably should stop that, or we've stopped talking to you, or we pulled back, we didn't text, we left you alone all day. You know something's wrong, but you keep doing it.
Yeah.
So I don't know if we're saying that you were oblivious or it was willful ignorance.
Yeah.
Just in case the feds are in here, we don't beat our kids. We're talking about timeout.
Yeah, by beating I mean we play a game called Pillow Fight.
Yeah. They have to sit in the corner and think about what they did
and sing songs of Zion. But to that also, because the women went into a frenzy when you said I could have left, and I just want to go back there for a second, because you can't tell me how to express my what I'm feeling. You can't say, oh, that was extreme, because you don't know how much that meant to me. And because women are the first ones to say, well, you can't tell me how to feel, you can't tell me how to express myself. Well, same with us. You can't tell me how to express myself, because and this is what I'm in therapy now, so I just had to do this with my friends. We have to continue to check in with people to see their core values. What do you value? Because if you don't know what my core values are and you offend them, and I up and leave because that was something that is a core value of mine, there's now offense here because you think I'm overreacting when I think I'm justified. Yeah. So there's a definite need of communication, not just when things are bad, because that was one of the things I just discovered about myself is I thought my feelings were invalid if I wasn't upset. And of a cool, level head, I didn't know how to express how I was feeling because I felt like, I'm not upset enough, so I don't get to have feelings right now. I don't get to vocalize how I feel.
I think that there's this complete misunderstanding that our silence is operating out of pride rather than out of selflessness. We are protecting you from your feelings getting hurt. Because if we're mad, you got to understand something, man. Men aren't always as tactful as they should be with their words, right? Some of y'all women ain't tactful neither, right? But when we know that one of us has to be the level head and logical one, and it ain't gonna be you, then we have to watch what we say or just not say it until we're in a place to where we can. Because one thing that we understand is the power of our words. Right. And if I understand the power, you don't want, a matter of fact, we see the posts all the time about men being verbally abusive and how they're narcissistic. We're not trying to get labeled like that. So a lot of times we keep our mouth shut so that way we don't come off in a way that's going to hurt you. We're trying to process it and figure out how to communicate it in a way that you might understand, because we're learning, and quite often our conversations don't lead in an agreement to disagree. Most times you want to talk about it until we say you're right.
Yep.
You're never going to be okay, and you're never going to be okay with I think this and you think that. No, you want to hear you're right.
Yep.
We don't want that every day.
And I think the worst response you can give me while I'm in that silent moment is to ask me to do something dysfunctional, like cuss you out.
Yep.
That ain't benefiting nobody. It doesn't bear. I've been talking about this all day. It's coming up in every conversation I've had. It bears no good fruit. Matter of fact, it sows more discord in the relationship.
Discord. You'll never get it back.
So next time when I'm upset and I choose not to watch my mouth and I cuss you out, that could be the end of it.
Now your feelings hurt, because that was a true story for me. I had an ex-girlfriend. She would say, "You don't care because you don't. I'm upset and I'm screaming and you just stand there and just look at me." And I said, I almost called her name. I said, "You want me to be quiet? Because this same mouth that brings you joy is the same mouth."
You're stupid.
Listen, how can a fountain flow with bitter and sweet? Talk to me, piss me off, piss me off. And so one day she started, and she was like, "No, give me your best shot, give me," and I in a very small voice.
So you know what I had to learn how to do, because I realized that my words are like cuss words without even cussing, right? Because I'm a preacher, so we can say stuff to make you feel stupid, and you don't figure it out till tomorrow. I have to write my stuff down. I have to write it down like a little kid. I'm gonna write it on a piece of paper, and I'm gonna give it to you, and you're gonna know I was serious. Because what you're not gonna do is have me express myself and then act like I didn't say it later. Because the one thing a man hates is for our feelings and opinions to be dismissed. If you want to know I'm for real, read it in a text or on some paper.
Yeah, I might be a little toxic. I might be a tad bit toxic because
we're glad you made that discovery, Tay.
I don't mind a little attitude, a little. I like the challenge of bringing you back down. Praise the Lord. And so yeah, I don't mind the her getting all excited in her angry way.
Yeah, you toxic.
I might be a little toxic.
I mean, have you listened to his album? Have you listened to the album? I mean, a little bit.
Hey, it's there.
Get mad at me. Let me fix it. But in so many ways.
I don't mind the argument.
I don't mind the rile up. No.
Yeah, I don't mind the rile up. It's the disrespect.
He don't want it at all.
It's the disrespect. Once you cross that line of respect, and now you're belittling me, and
and it happens quickly in an argument, especially if somebody feels unheard, or they only think you care if they can get a rise out of you.
Right.
The last thing you want to do out of this 250-pound self that I got is get a rise out of me. There is a whole side to me that I worked very hard. Listen, there's a whole side of me I worked very hard to keep under control. You are not about to bring that out because there's no coming back.
Ain't no coming back.
And so for me, my silence protects you.
Mm-hmm.
My silence protects you. And then when I'm ready, you know what?
I'm gonna sit this one out.
I'm gonna sit this one out.
You know what?
I feel y'all though. I feel y'all.
But I think so. I think it takes us back to the differences, right? Secrecy is to preserve myself, right? It ain't got nothing to do with you. It's to preserve myself. It's to preserve the way you perceive me, especially when I got something I'm hiding, right? Privacy is about the protection of both of us. What do y'all think? Ooh.
Mm-hmm.
And privacy is an act of love. I think we have to untrain ourselves from thinking that privacy is a bad thing.
Scripture said he will hide me under a rock.
Because we love to quote, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide. Baby,
they don't want secrets. They don't want secrets. They want the sun. They don't want the shade. They want the sun.
Oh, okay.
Right. Jesus. Okay, so what about, do y'all believe in private friendships? Secret friendships. No. When is it private versus secret?
This is the example, because this is what I say I hate. I hate that you can only congratulate me in my DMs.
I feel you.
You can only congratulate me in my DMs. You can't with me, you can't say out loud, hey, congratulations, or I support you, bro, but you do it for everybody else. That I can't rock with.
That's because they've been talking about you to people.
That's because they've been talking. Right. There's a motive there. Yeah. You got a different motive.
So then, do you disclose that to your significant other?
As far as friends.
So when people in your DMs, do you disclose that to your significant other? So and so was in my DMs trying to holler.
Not if I can handle it.
Yeah.
Really? That's not being secretive?
But they take that as being secretive.
No.
If I can handle the situation, then I don't feel like this. I'm not going to worry you with every female that's in my DMs.
Exactly.
Right, because that was the thing. Because they call them fans. Oh, you got fans. They like your pictures and they heart you. They sending heart eyes, so they want you. I can't control that. Now it's a difference between me entertaining it and me shutting it down. If I shut it down, and if I, like Tay said, if I handled it and shut it down and it's resolved, there's no need to bring it to you. I think the only time I need to bring it to you as my wife or whatever is when I've shut it down and they've continued.
Keep coming. Yeah.
So for those of you who missed it, the question was, if somebody's trying to holler at you in the DMs, or if somebody comments, or somebody gives you the looking eyes, somebody gives you the hard eyes in your story or your DMs, do you handle it and then tell your significant other? And if you don't tell them, is it being secretive?
No. I think it's, if it affects me, then it needs to be addressed.
Right.
If it doesn't affect me at all, nah, I'm good. There's no reason to have that conversation.
So listen, here's the thing. My wife and I, we have each other's passwords on the phone, fingerprint passwords, whatever. We can get into it later on. I ain't never going into her phone because I like to fight. And I know that, gosh, I know guys be in there commenting on her little snaps, commenting on her little stories, because she fine. That's why I married her, right? I know they in there. I don't need to see that because she gonna handle it. I've had friends in her things doing the hard eyes, thinking they slick. She done blocked them and then tell me 2-3 weeks later. I don't care about that stuff, because if I can't trust her, I wouldn't have married her.
Facts.
What do I want to monitor all her stuff for? That who wants to live like that?
And I think it's for me, because I might be a little toxic too, Tay. You're not by yourself. I think it's attractive when you're getting hit on. I absolutely love it.
Facts.
I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that. You
I
think it's cute? I carry my gun.
No.
I don't want to be the only person that think mine is fine.
Yeah, I love it. I love that you get hard eyes. I love that. I even love that they're in the comments saying, "Oh, you beautiful," and you know, blah blah blah. I enjoy that because at the end of the day, I know where you are, and I know where you're staying. And
I expect it. I expect it. I don't need to see it though. I expect it. I don't need to see it, because for me, if you know I exist, you being disrespectful as heck.
I felt that
one. What you want to say?
I felt that one.
You know I'm here. You know she married.
So Fitz, how do you handle that?
Huh?
How do you handle something like that during the private stage, or you just don't care during the private stage?
During the private stage, well,
yeah.
During the private stage, they don't know, so I can't really get mad, right? Because we're not out there like that. Once it's public and you do that, it's all jokes is off. Like I'm crazy for real. Like I love the Lord, but I'm that dude that thinks I can murder somebody and get away with it. So I don't play like that, right? But my wife shuts it down, and that's why I say I don't have to ask. I don't go looking, and ain't nobody crazy enough to put nothing in the comments, and I don't go looking through her comments to see, right?
But I think it's different when it's strangers and then people you know. Now, if it's people you know that's doing that,
that's disrespectful.
Yeah, let's go outside. Let's come on. We ain't gonna jump you. Let's go outside real quick. But if it's, I'm not bothered by strangers because, like I said, I mean, I think you're beautiful, so I expect others to think you're beautiful. But if you know me and you know her and we together and you still stepping across that line, yeah, I'm gonna step across the line too, and it might be the jail line.
So one of the questions was, can we discuss with the partner how they would like you to respond? I think you can discuss it. Don't mean that's how I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, you can't. Huh?
Yeah. I'm a grown man. If I say I'm gonna handle it, I'm gonna handle it, right?
So,
just like I expect. Yeah, go ahead.
As a man, can I tell you how to respond to certain things? Like when females hop in the DMs or when they comment on certain things, can I tell you how to respond? I doubt that would work.
No.
Nope. So it's the same way. You can.
Now
tell
here's
me.
the deal. Here's the deal. Some women would do that. Some women, yeah, you can tell me whatever, but there ain't nobody in their stuff.
Yeah, facts.
You know what I'm saying? Like some stuff don't make sense. He could tell me anything. You ain't had nobody in your comments for 16 years. Shush.
Yeah.
Like
nobody wants
easy.
Not
right?
A fair trade. Yeah.
I think the other side to it is if you tell me how to handle it and then I handle it my way, you're gonna have an issue because I didn't do it your way. So what's the point of
it's a control thing.
Well, just trust the fact that I handled it and no, understand. I think we got to get back to that place where my word is bond, right? And I ain't saying, I handled it, but I'm still interacting with this person, in comments or on Facebook, and we going back and forth, stuff like that, and giving off the appearance that it has not been handled. No, but when I've handled it, when that door has been closed, when all invitations have been rejected and all of that, I need you to get to a place in you where you say, if he say he handled it, I trust it. Just like you say, just like you believe, I'm going to go and pay that mortgage every month, and I say that's handled, and we still got this roof over our head. That's the same energy I need you to have when it comes to these little randoms.
Here's the truth, and I'm not afraid to say this. Most women don't want a man; they want a son. You want to be a parent.
Subconsciously,
you want to be a parent. You want somebody that you can say, "Hey, no, don't touch that. Don't do this. No, don't go there."
Oh, one thing. Disclaimer, when we say most or all, we are not talking about every woman that's been created on God's green earth that has a different personality and a different set of moral codes. We understand that is not you. It is not all of you. It may not even be some of you, but we just wanted to remind you, don't get in these comments talking about not me.
Yeah, Continue. We just talking about the ones in AW.
Yeah, not the one. Yeah,
I'm playing.
Right. So I think so. Here's for me. Here's what's important. Because there's been times where I've had concerns about certain people that I've expressed a concern, but I never said this is how you need to handle it. Right. If my wife says she handles it, she handles it. But if her way doesn't handle it, then I'm gonna have something to say. Exactly. And I think that's a great rule of thumb. Give the person the opportunity to handle it the way they said they would. Now, if it's not handled, if I say I'm gonna handle it and it ain't handled, my wife has every right to come up in here and tear the stove up.
Yeah,
because obviously my way didn't work.
Yeah.
There's a comment here. Mm-hmm. It says, to me, handling it is not entertaining women. Handling it is shutting it down. Okay. We have two different ways of shutting a thing down, though. Like a computer, you may go home button, shut down, and the computer shut down by itself. I might just close the screen. That's two different ways, but the shutdown process is happening.
Unplug it because mine don't turn off the right way.
Can I bring their words back up? Because that's what they love to do with us. I want to bring their words back up. What happened to grace? Because they think what we should do in shutting it down should be mean and I told her this and I went off and I blah 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 blah. Where's the grace? Why can't I just say, hey, I'm in a relationship right now. This not gonna work. I don't appreciate, my girlfriend, my wife wouldn't appreciate us having this kind of interaction.
And listen, for all y'all talking about that, let them down easy so you can keep them in the wings. Just because y'all dealt with dudes like that don't mean all dudes are like that.
Right.
Listen, some of us just don't like to be rude. The way y'all like to cuss out waitresses and be rude to people who serve you, that ain't us.
Right.
So I understand you got your method, we got ours. We try to be safe sometimes, right? So just because you handle it away when you're emotional does not mean we got to handle it the same way when we are not. Again, it's about trust and respect. If you trust me to, like Mike said, you trust me to pay the bills, you trust me to take care of the car, you trust me to take care of the kids, you trust me to make sure you good, trust me to handle this situation. Now, if I fail,
right. Please do.
Now, question, because if we're talking about just dating, then
a whole different set of rules.
It's a whole different set of rules, because me having somebody in the wings just in case you don't fit or make the part, there's nothing wrong with that at all. As long as while I'm with you, she knows there's nothing going on. But
because this isn't a sure foundation right now. This is auditioning. We're auditioning at this time, and so I'm giving you all my attention right now. And I'm completely devoted to you right now. But if this doesn't work out, I'm not trying to unblock people who potentially could have been the person that would fit. Let me stop.
Yeah,
It's but
just a
so
different set of rules.
So Rebecca says, why do you need grace to continue to continue inappropriate connections?
What's
So,
inappropriate?
so
By
do we believe in
definition.
grace or no? Do you want grace or no? Because
Mhm.
at the end of the day, and our tongues can be so forky sometimes. On one hand, we're like, oh no, give me grace, give me grace. Then you want grace for you, but you want wrath for the next one.
Mhm.
That's something to unpack.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to be mean and nasty to cut something off. Disconnection does not mean dishonor and disrespect. I think we need to learn that first.
Mhm.
I can completely shut you down and still honor you and do it with and in love.
Right.
I do not have to be mad to do it. I don't have to be upset. I don't have to be mean to disconnect. I don't have to come snatch something out the wall. I can do it very gently.
A simple, I'm seeing somebody right now. I appreciate it, but I'm seeing someone right now. That's
Thank
all.
you for your
That's all.
compliment. Thank you for your compliment, but I'm seeing somebody right now. Thank you.
Right.
Oh, I'm
Y'all
actually. So there's a comment in here. It would be great to hear perspectives from people who divorce because of spouse's failure to shut someone down. That's me 3 times.
That's me too.
3 times.
Times 2.
And I still to this day leave it up to them to do it. If they don't do it, it will come out. If they don't do it, they will suffer the consequences. If they don't do it, it's on them. My job is not to police an adult.
Right.
I've tried to. It will drive you nuts. I've checked phone call logs. I've checked Facebooks. I've checked Life 360 and GPS locations. It will drive you insane. Who wants to live like that? You let an adult be an adult, and if you find out they aren't who they say they are and entertaining people they shouldn't, God will reveal, and then you leave. It's not that hard. Salvation is a personal walk. So if you're going to cut up, there ain't no monitoring that I can do. There's no parameters that I can set that's going to help you act right if it's not in you.
I want us to take paranoia out of relationship and put trust back in it. That's all I want us to do. I want us to stop being paranoid about everything and everybody, and this person wants this and this person wants that, and they trying to steal you and stuff. No, trust me. If I'm here, sweetheart, I'm here. And if I wanted to be somewhere else, I'd be there. Trust. I would be there, but I am here. So I want you to rest in trust and stop being paranoid. Forget about these scragglers who sending hard eyes in my DM. I'm not responding to that. I ain't responding to even the random text messages I get in my own phone. So let's be trust. Let's find trust again, and let's stop being so paranoid about what's going on outside of the relationship. See, this is why I keep it private. Right. Yeah, this is why I keep it private, because I'm not going to be doing all this paranoia activity that you got going on right now. I'm not doing this. If we're going to build this, we're going to build it the right way.
The resolution is, if we would just heal first, if we would truly heal first, we wouldn't be here. We would not be here.
Can I add? I want to add something. Somebody said, if you are trying to keep your people on the bench, then let me know that, because if that's how we moving, then let me know so I can move forth accordingly. For one, y'all already moved forth accordingly without us letting you know that. Because, and I'll tell you why. All the Negroes that's saying, hey, beautiful, you can be as disrespectful as you want to them. As soon as you pop up and say hi, they're going to be right back on board.
Absolutely.
And so we don't have that luxury. We don't have that same luxury. And so you can be rude to guys and they're still going to be available to you when you pop back up. And not saying that we want people to just be available to us. It's just, if I'm not married, I'm not going to burn bridges with people just because for somebody that I'm dating and I don't know if this is going somewhere at all. Now that I'm specifically talking about that stage specifically, I'm not talking about somebody, okay, yeah, we know this is it right here. our dating is towards marriage. We know this is what's going to happen. Or for married folks, I'm talking specifically for people who are freshly dating, and yeah, we're filling this thing out and we seeing how it works. I'm not going to be rude to people. I'm just going to simply give them the answer I said. I'm dating someone right now. I appreciate your compliment, but I'm currently dating. So thank you.
Hey, and it's a good point. The fearless leader just posted, hey, you can DM Vernique for Heal for Real, and have her work with you on that, because listen, you'll never have a good relationship if you're not healed.
That's
right. Just because I have access to her phone, if she ever went through my phone, I'd be pissed. Not because she don't have access and don't have a right, because it's a sign of mistrust. And what did I do to earn that? Right. So I think we have to really get to a place. If you're not in that place to where you have trust, you may not need to be in the relationship.
Absolutely.
Because nobody else can get you over your trust issues.
Right. And you should heal not for your relationship or because you aspire to be in a relationship. You should just heal for you. You should heal because you want to be better.
Facts.
Yeah. Okay.
This is a good time.
I mean, we always,
Is everybody good? Anybody
Rebecca did say something. And she just on the road today. She said, so you shut it down and tell them, but we can, I'm in a relationship, but we can be friends. Who's doing that? If you already expressed, if you've already expressed interest in me outside of platonic, I'm not gonna tell you, oh, but we can be friends, because what that really means is I'm opening up the door that when my girlfriend or my wife pisses me off, I'm gonna call you and we work. And that's just the truth. Hate to throw out a guy code, but that's just the truth. But if I'm really invested in this relationship, there's not going to be but we can be friends. It's not gonna happen, because you've already expressed to me that the reason you in my inbox is because you like me outside of friendship.
And if you're in the point, like Tay said, if you're in the point of dating stages and it's really that difficult to have trust, why be together? You're only dating.
Facts. That shouldn't even be a conversation. Facts.
Right? Why be together? And I've had to do that. I dated people before I met my wife. I dated somebody I had a trust issue with, and all it took was one thing. I was like, you know what? This ain't gonna work. This is not gonna work. Cool, everything else, but nope. I cannot have this underlying feeling of I don't trust you. Not gonna work.
And she said, so y'all cut off all y'all female friends. I thought y'all didn't like being called female. Okay, y'all cut off all y'all female friends when we talking
about friends.
Yeah, that's what no need to cut off my female friends or my women friends because we in a relationship. Absolutely not. They're not going anywhere. Sorry.
Yeah,
it's not happening.
So listen, I'm different. I have a few friends that I've known since high school. I almost say, I'm not gonna say I demote them, but I back off on the level of communication to like an acquaintance. If I see you in the street, I'm gonna speak. I ain't calling you, I ain't texting you, I ain't reaching out to you. That's me. But I also have the same request and requirement. Here's the deal. I'm going to cut off, as a married man, I will cut off anybody she wants cut off. No questions asked. Immature or not. And I'm gonna tell you why. She's my wife.
Yeah, I feel that.
Before she became my wife, yeah, you can make a request all you want, but if I don't want to, I'm not gonna do that. Right? But as my wife, you can say whatever you want. It don't matter if I don't like it or not. You're my wife. Now, you might be insecure, and that's an issue for me. And I might say you need to go see a counselor. Yeah. Right. But at the same rate, as my wife, you can request whatever you want. But as somebody I'm dating, somebody I'm seeing, somebody even engaged to, you have a certain reach that you have access to. Once I know you're here to stay, then I'll make the adjustment. But I've always felt it's appropriate to back off on the level of communication with other females if I'm with somebody.
Agreed.
Okay, so
that's just
question with that though, because if this woman is just genuinely my platonic friend, there has been nothing inappropriate ever, nothing playful. This my sis. We just cool. I get the being a wife part. I get that because even if it's rooted in insecurity, I'm still married to you, and you can deal with your insecurity later. But to keep the peace, I'm just gonna say, okay, hey, let's back off. But the question was asked, so you would let your woman keep her male friends? Absolutely,
And I have.
absolutely.
She talks to them less, but I have. And the ones that show they tail, guess what?
Yeah, I think as long as boundaries aren't crossed, there's nothing disrespectful. There's nothing hidden or secretive about it. Because a friend is a friend. A friend is a friend. I'm not going to trip on your friends. That's your safe place. We all need. I encourage you to have friends because I'm telling you now. If you think I'm going to be your friend, it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be your only friend. You're not just going to be sitting at me looking at me like this. No. Go get you some friends, baby.
Mhm.
Yep. I agree.
What you think?
I think we said a lot.
I was gonna say, have we beat this like a dead horse?
I think we said a lot.
They just trolling now.
Yeah, and I believe this too. I think it's important for people to do what works best for their relationship.
Absolutely.
Right? Do what's best for your relationship and the person you're with. And I'm a firm believer that it shouldn't take that much work to make a relationship work. Because we got a lot of work to do in other areas of our life. So if you can't come to a common ground, then sometimes it's good to really evaluate if this is what's for you. And it's okay to say it's not. Right. And I think that's how we make ourselves secure in whatever situation we're in. If you're with somebody that doesn't make you feel secure, or you don't feel secure with that person, then it's always good to take some time to reevaluate. That's just my opinion. Or go see a therapist. Right. I'm a Bible believing preacher, but I had a therapist. And it works.
It works.
It works. It was the best decision of my life. So, I think that's good. There's never a one size fit all.
I just want to address this whole friends subject. I think you can be friends with whomever you want as long as you have established healthy boundaries. I think friendships without boundaries is a setup for failure. So you can even if you entertain this person, if y'all dated in the past, whatever the case is, you can have that boundary. If you got that boundary, you're good. Don't compromise that boundary now. But if you have that boundary, you can keep that relationship. I don't think it's healthy at all to cut off good people in the name of having a relationship because the person you're with is insecure about that friendship or that relationship. Let them know the boundaries you set. Be clear about that. Be upfront about that. And then let them choose if they're going to keep them around or if they're going to cut them off. And let that be their choice. You do not have, this is for me, only for me. You don't have the right to come in and say who I can and cannot be friends with at any point in time. Leave that up to me, please. Give me wisdom, give me insight, all of that.
Make your request known.
Let me make the decision, please.
Because otherwise you're a parent. You're a parent. And I think
I'm too grown for that.
Yeah, and I think it's unhealthy and unfair to project your lack of boundaries and friendships onto me. Just because you don't know how to set up healthy boundaries for you and your friends doesn't mean that you have to side eye me and my friendships because you don't know how to handle yours.
And even this, it's not even fair to project on what happened to you in your last relationship. Like, let's even kill comparison. Let's kill comparison. Let's kill paranoia. Let's kill all these things when we're talking about going into a relationship, because even if those, you know what, we can really kill it by having a conversation. To be honest, like, this relationship reminded me of this. Well, let me tell you why this isn't that. And we can kill that whole thought. And that's a healthy conversation. And you know what that builds? That builds for men. I'm gonna speak for me. What it builds for me is it builds another layer of trust, and it also builds another layer of intimacy because I can trust you to talk about this.
You know,
Sorry.
I think no, you're good. I think if we put things in perspective, any man that told a woman that she needs to cut off all her friends would come off controlling.
Mm-hmm.
They would
And
say
he
he's
might try to
controlling,
kill you.
and he might be abusive, and he might be trying to cut you off from the people who are important to you or the people who can help you. So why is it any different when it's the reverse?
Right.
Double standard. Right. So somebody said, what about inappropriate? And I know we're getting ready to go. Somebody said, what about inappropriate communications that are not of a sexual nature? For example, the female friend wants to talk deep emotions and relationship problems. Do you tell your wife? For me, because I do relationship coaching, I pretty much tell my wife everything. And I tell people I tell her everything. And that usually gauges what they're going to tell me. Right. Even if her friends call me about advice, I'm telling her they called. Now, if they say keep it private, I'm gonna let her know that they asked that I don't tell you. And there's a certain level of confidentiality I have to agree to. But I think it's important to communicate that. Now, whether you deem deep relationship talk inappropriate or not, if it's a deep relationship talk about their situation, not about you and theirs, then I don't know if I would deem that inappropriate if you are considered somebody of wisdom.
Right.
Right. So you really have to define what's inappropriate for you and then make sure there's an agreement between the two. And sometimes you write that out. Yeah, go ahead.
And it goes back to the motive piece. There's a big difference in talking to my friend about my relationship issues because I know he or she is there for me. It's completely different when I'm telling you I'm going through in my marriage because I'm trying to see how vulnerable you are to see if I got a shoulder to cry on. And you know what happened with that. It's a major difference if I'm using my marital or relational issues as a door to swing open to allow you in so that we can be inappropriate. But just even when I have the conversations about how something in my relationship is not working, I think that's completely safe amongst true friends.
Right.
Yep. All righty. We beat it up, flipped it, threw it back.
definitely beat it up.
Okay. I think this was good. And you know, guys, at any time, there's nothing wrong with having differences of opinions. We are not experts. This is just our opinion. That's all they really are. And so we always want to keep that in mind. We're not saying we're right. We're just saying from our perspective, this is how we feel. And so my wife is going to kill me for saying that. We're just saying how we feel. So we appreciate you guys just listening in the dialogue. We love doing Man Cave because, you know, we know this is the only time we get attacked publicly. So we appreciate.
Not me.
Maybe.
I get it off there. I get it off there.
You get off the grid too. Man, but this was the leader said, wait one sec. But it's been we appreciate having these conversations and we're doing our best. Hold on one second. Hold on. Oh, okay. See, I'm getting told what to do right now. We do want to let you know soon that the fearless leader, y'all know we're talking about Vernique, right? Yeah. She is going to be, and the AW team is going to be announcing some changes soon. They're good changes, not bad. And they're going to be to the benefit of everybody in the group. So we're excited about those things, conversations like this. There's just a lot of good things coming down the pipeline. And then also when people have, and I think, there we go. So some of the things that we're going to be doing is just when it comes to getting more out of the group, growing in their relationships, growing with God, having more access to some of the programmings. Please definitely stay close, pay attention to the posts, right? We know y'all like to comment on certain posts, especially on Wednesdays, but pay attention to all of the posts because there's a lot of things coming, a lot of good things coming, and you do not want to miss it because we've learned that we won't touch that. The people who want to be here will be here, and you are going to want to be here, right? It's going to be worth it. the things that are coming. So we appreciate the support. Definitely patronize authenticallywed.com. Check out the merch, buy some stuff, check with Vernique if you need some sessions. There's a lot of good things going on. You have a lot of resources here to where you can heal, a lot of resources here to where you can grow. Don't miss out on those opportunities, right? We don't know how long we're going to have this kind of space to do things like this. You know, they're making changes all the time. So thank you for the support. Definitely stay tuned. And gentlemen, matter of fact, gentlemen, let's let everybody know what you're doing, what you got going on, where they can find you on your socials, but not DM you because you have boundaries. Go ahead.
No, you can DM me. We'll be fine.
What you got going on? What you got going on? What you got going on?
Who we talking to first?
You, Tay. Start with you. Tay, Mike.
Okay. All right. So I don't got much going on. Oh, yeah, I do. Friday. If you in Dallas, Texas, come out. I'm gonna be performing in Dallas, Texas. That's why I look rough right now because you gotta have a fresh haircut for when you perform. So I was like, let me go ahead and rough it out. But yeah, definitely if you in Dallas, Texas, come out. I'm gonna be performing with some other people. You're gonna hear some of my ratchetness and some of my toxicness. But it's all good and the Lord loves it. So come out and have a good time.
Okay.
I don't have much of anything going on right now, to be honest with you. Preparing for graduation in May. Glory to God.
Congratulations.
So
congrats, bro.
I'm grinding out. Appreciate that. I'm grinding out to finish strong. So yeah, I pray my strength.
Okay. What's up, Dr. Your Grace?
Yes. So of course I have books available on Amazon through my website. I'm writing 2 new books right now. One for the creative and then one that's another novel. I also am teaching some creative writing courses as well as performance courses. So check out my website for all of that. Hit me up.
Okay. Let's see what I got going on. So I'm about 4 weeks from launching the dating app called Genesis Dating. For those of you who missed the video announcement, it is a dating app designed for the urban Christian, right? The urban believer. I know they got Christian Mingle. I know some of y'all on Plenty of Fish, Hinge. What else they got? Tinder, whatever it is y'all be hooking up on. This is designed for us to kind of create a safe space to where you can kind of interact with each other with some expectation, right? Expectation that they have the same belief system as you. So what we're doing is we're going to open it up to the first 1,000 people to be our beta testers. So you can go to genesisdating.com and sign up for that. When I tell you it's going to be hot, it's going to be hot. We got all features from some of your favorite social medias that you're going to like. So genesisdating.com. We're building our subscription list. It is no cost to try it out. We're just going to do a beta testing to see how it works and see if you like it. But I'm only going to leave that open for the first 1,000. And when I tell you these spaces are filling up fast, I'm kind of shocked. So definitely check it out. You know, there's going to be a lot. So yes, and let's keep pushing the group because we are 50 people away from 5,000 in the AW group. So be sure to invite, if there are any men watching this or any women that know men should have been watching this, invite them or encourage them to join AW Men because we have way more conversations like this without all the harassment on the men's side. We call it across the street.
Across the street.
Send them across the street, and have them join so they can have more fun conversations like this because you get the real truth over there. Right? Yeah, the real talk. All right.
I just felt all the women try to find out what's going on over there. Stop it. You nosy.
Get delivered.
Right.
Get delivered. All right. With that, we are gonna go. I'm about to go be married. Y'all have a good evening.
Oh, hey,
bless the name of the Lord. Thank y'all. Thank you, everybody, for watching. All right, then. We're about to go. Y'all have a good one. May the Lord watch between me and. Wait, we don't want to use that prayer. All right, we'll talk to you later. Have a good one. Good night.